an email comes in, the AI will automatically go, can it respond to it?
Yeah.
And it'll have a confidence threshold.
Yeah.
It will, if it's a simple thing like what's your opening hours, it'll respond to it. If it's something a little bit harder,
with that tone of voice that you've
exactly
trained, yeah.
If it's a little bit harder, then it'll go, well, I'm not quite sure about this, and it'll flag it for a human.
Yeah.
But it will go, here is what I think the response should be.
Nice.
And the human can go, that is fine, tick, and it will learn, and it will get confident, or they'll edit it and change it and then send it, and it will learn from that as well. And the idea being that we don't want to be replacing humans, like absolutely not. We want to be freeing up.
Welcome to Captive Conversations, brought to you by Captive Wi-Fi. I'm your host, Adam Foreman. This podcast brings you the best stories from suppliers, marketers, and operators from our beloved hospitality sector. Now, let's get on with the show.
Hello, everyone. Episode 77. We have Edd Bower. Thank you for coming. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for making the long journey down and coming in earlier, which is really good. So we've known each other for a while, and I'm really interested to hear the story. My little ChatGPT researcher didn't go too deep into your thinking, but I did do another one actually, which I'll share with you afterwards because it sort of got cut off. So it went to a little brief information, and then it went proper deep. And I was listening to it, watching it go. It was like, oh, he might be doing this, and oh, there might be hospitality, and it was just asking itself questions.
It may have found a different version of me.
Yeah, so I'm really interested. I haven't looked at it yet, so I'm really interested. I'll show you afterwards, but we'll probably hear about it on here. So amazing! Thank you for coming. We'll dive straight in.
Yeah.
So last on the podcast was Simon Anderson, the king of food halls, and with some really interesting conversations, especially about the amount of food halls that have closed versus the amount of restaurants that have closed. I think in the last 12 months, I think he said one food hall has closed, which is crazy.
It's because the offering's very different from the restaurants. Like, I love going to a food hall where we've got a big group of friends. We have quite an eclectic mix of dietary requirements. We've got someone who's on the FODMAP, so it's like no onion, no soy, no garlic. They can't eat anywhere. Go to a food hall, everyone's happy, everyone can have whatever they want.
Yeah.
So much choice, and I love them.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so his question was, it was a bit longer, but I've shortened it a bit. So, what do you love and hate in the dining experience? Like, here's what was your pet peeve? Well, I think one of the things he said was.
So we were out for brunch on Sunday, and not in the first place, does this amazing focaccia thing. They were out, so we're like, fine, we'll go to our local, the favourite place that we'll go most nights on a Friday. Don't often go for brunch. And it's a great place, but we were there waiting for 45 minutes before our food came out. It wasn't that busy. And I know sometimes it's difficult. You might be short-staffed. There might be other issues that you can't obviously contend with. But we were kind of sat there, and then you go for the awkward, like, do we go up and say something? And we're very British. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But finally it did. But an hour later, I'm like, well, we'd have been in and out of the other place in about 20 minutes. So, unfortunately, that is one of the big pet peeves, and it's not something that's easily addressable. But in terms of what I love is when you get treated, not necessarily like a local or a regular, the guy that always sits in that corner, like that's his seat, don't sit in it. But just when you get recognised and you get that little bit of an extra kind of bit of a chat, bit of a, oh, do you want your usual, that kind of thing. Absolutely love that. And it's quite a difficult thing to get these days. Yeah. Like the place I just said, like we've been there most Fridays, like in the last year, but we're not necessarily recognised, which is quite weird.
Yeah, on my local Italian, we're there all loads. So I make a point of sort of getting to know people, but it's difficult when it depends on what it is, right? It depends on what it is. That is probably a pet peeve for me as well. It kills me. And I know people are busy, but I think there's obviously training, and then depending on the staff that you have, and if they're willing to go up to speak to people, it's that banter. I was in a place in Hitchin, which is a small pub group. There's about 12 of them, and it was an ex music venue turned into a restaurant. It's really cool, super high ceiling, and the waitress was hilarious. And the second time we've been there, this time with friends, didn't recognise us, which was fine, but the experience was the same. So it was the same, like different waitress, but like my wife's got allergies, so she was like, oh, I better get my pad out, and like she's just writing it down on her pad and that sort of stuff. So it was, she made it funny. Like it wasn't like anything, because some people say allergies and they go, oh, let me get a manager. She was just like, that's fine, no worries, and just I'll write the essay down now, right? Yeah. Like that, and we were always having a bit of a laugh. So yeah, I think I think if they can do consistency, it will work. But that is a challenge when you're waiting. And do you say something or do you not? Do you walk out?
Yeah.
Or not?
I mean, I hate to say, I've only ever done that once on a restaurant, and they were fairly busy, but we'd asked for the bill about 5 times.
Yeah.
And they just weren't bringing us. And this was like half an hour after we finished, at least maybe 45 minutes, and we just went, "Oh, they clearly don't want our money."
Yeah.
Grant, I was 18 at the time, long time ago.
Yeah.
Don't report me to the
Second
hospitality
question.
police.
What is your favourite food hall, and what's your favourite type of food in a food hall?
So if I go with any, I would go with the Time Out Market in Lisbon.
Yeah.
We were there for like a long weekend, and we were kind of the opinion of, well, it's not going to be like a local experience. We don't want to be going to like a chain sort of thing. But all the little restaurants in the food hall were all locals. It was great. So every day we were getting a taste of different things in there, and it was absolutely fantastic. My go-to food, okay, maybe I'm a bit basic, but burger and fries. Usually can't go wrong with it, and you can get a good kind of mix of stuff.
Nice. Okay, so on to the standard questions. Best hospitality experience.
So I was trying to think of the right answer to this one. So I've got lots of little ones that are really good. Like years and years ago, I was on a date, not with my wife, and we went into this little tiki bar in Manchester, and they'd done a thing where they put sand all in the bar. And
I love that. Yeah.
Little child, I'm like, oh my God, this is so much fun.
Yeah.
And the guy at the bar just obviously could tell what I was wanting to do, handed me a cocktail shaker, and there you go, make some sandcastles. So I just started making little sandcastles in the corner. My date was not happy.
Yeah.
Clearly didn't work. But I was just having the time of my life in that place.
Yeah.
And like another one where same place, they had, with the old, they got the TV on, they got a DVD of something playing, then it gets to the end of it and obviously gets stuck on the menu. Me being 6'3", just reach up, press the play button for the next to replay it, and the guy was like, "You over here," and I was like, "Oh crap, what have I done?" And he just opened your mouth. I'm like, "Oh!" It just poured me a shot in my mouth.
Oh, sick.
Sweet, brilliant.
Okay,
so
nice.
Experiences like that are always great.
I'll have to get the name of that place. It sounds awesome. Okay, amazing. Best hospitality tech, but no self-noms.
So I'm going to do 2 little non-tech sort of nods to my locals. We've got 2 local pizza places. One year we went to one in December, and after the meal they handed us with a receipt, a golden envelope.
Yeah.
And they said, in that envelope, you've got either a 10%, 20, 50 or 100% off your next meal. The rules are, you're not allowed to open it.
Yeah.
You have to bring it in January, and we have to open it.
Oh, wow.
And obviously we came back.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
Yeah.
I just want to know what's in it. Yeah, it was 10%.
Yeah.
But that got me back in, and I
love that.
I haven't worked out how we do a tech version of that still has the same kind of
Yeah.
surprise and delight.
Well, it's the gamification, isn't it?
Well, exactly.
So you speak to Alan and with the Game Boys, and you'll have to spin the wheel, and then you'll get what you get, but you can only open it on a specific date.
Yeah,
that's really clever.
Like, is it a QR that you scan
Yeah.
on site that the service
Yeah.
have, something like that?
Or a reminder that comes to you in January, to SMS or something, or maybe your WhatsApp saying your reward is activated.
Yeah, I think it's easily doable.
Yeah.
Then
that.
the other pizza place that obviously they're competing.
Yeah.
There was a little flyer taped to a lamppost that said, "We know you cheated on us."
Oh, I've seen that. That's
yeah,
hilarious.
exactly, and a QR code, and I'm like,
Yeah.
of course I'm going to scan this.
Yeah.
What is it? And like, oh, well, here's an offer for £20 for a meal deal. Sort
I
of
love
thing.
that. Yeah, and people have jumped on the bandwagon for that.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
so clever.
Recently, though, we with a work social went to Flight Club.
Yeah.
And that was great because they've got cameras all the time videoing you as you're doing your darts. And then at the end of it, because you put your name and your email address in, so at the end you get the email with like, here's all the videos of you scoring a knockout throw and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I wanted to give my details. I wanted to get that stuff back where normally...
Did you opt in though?
Of course. Well, research purposes.
Yeah, of course. I've got, I think that's really interesting. I think that's really nice that you can, even if you don't opt in, to get that information, it's a memory.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So how long does it stay? How long does it stay for? Did you get?
Ooh,
that's
I think,
interesting.
I'm trying to think if we downloaded them.
Yeah.
Because we definitely put them on LinkedIn and stuff.
Yeah. That's so cool. We haven't been there yet, actually. So the guys are very much VR at the moment. So we went to a VR place in Wembley like 4 years ago, and these are the ones with the backpack, HP computer on your back,
where you can walk around.
And so it's still the same now, but it's just a thing. It's a 4 years difference, right? They went the other day and they did one, and they were like, last time we went, we were all sweating. Like the computer was warm on your back. You know what I mean? Like it had a battery pack. It was good, but it was like you had to wear the backpack. They were like, no, it was just the goggles and the gun.
Yeah.
And that's it. So
It's great now.
yeah, so very interesting. All right, so we're going to go back in time, early doors, before before where you are now, before then, early doors. So were you immersed into hospital back then?
I mean, how far back do you want to go?
I don't know, uni? I guess.
I was going to say, because pre-uni I was in prison for a year, so a bit of an
Okay,
interesting one. I was working in prison, not
Oh,
in prison.
okay. That's a great clip. I was in prison for a year and then I'm going to snip it. So that's fantastic. What were you doing? What were you working?
So I was actually finance and procurement. Really interesting, being an 18-year-old in a female and young offenders institute. Obviously really opened my eyes to a lot of things. People younger than me in prison, and just how hard it is for people coming out. Big reoffending rates, but a lot of people who are like really keen to obviously get out and change their lives and stuff. But did that before uni. Through uni, hospitality-wise, I worked all the bars.
Nice.
I mean, everyone does.
Yeah.
Absolutely great fun. Carried on for 2 years after running them as well.
Okay.
So kind of sort of experience of like running a business myself. And then
So what, GM, or what were you doing? Like, what sort of things were you doing?
pretty much everything bar the
Okay.
finances, because we
Yeah.
had an accountant for that, stock taking, ordering, hiring, training, working it, all
Yeah,
that kind
awesome.
of stuff. But it's like such a great experience. I
Yeah.
mean, everyone should have that experience of being like on the floors, dealing with people day in, day out. Students are a little bit different, obviously. I mean, if they got out of line, I could just tell them to fuck off.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
like, we're not going to lose any business.
Yeah, I said I multiple times. I was out for dinner. Where was I? I was out for dinner 3 weeks ago, and I was talking to some of my friends about this. I was like, you know what? They should. And Mark McCulloch said this last year sometime. He was like, I think that the government should make people work in hospitality or join the army. And I was talking to a friend of mine at this restaurant, and it was like a religio steak place, and the woman came over and she was like, I totally agree. She goes, then they would understand my pain.
Yeah.
She goes, I've had the worst night ever. And we were just talking to her, because obviously I was having a banter. But I think you're right. I think I wish my nephews and cousins and younger people, the family friends, have all, some of them that worked on, they're so different.
Yeah.
That just one little stint, or even if it's longer, changes your aspect on how you your emotion, how you speak to people, how you understand people.
I don't know if it's just in general dealing with the general public, because you just see a different side of how people can be. And I mean, there's one example, a guy, I'll come on to my next job, on the grad scheme. We were out for a meal, and the meal was great, no problem with the service, and he complained just to get money off.
Yeah.
And we were like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
It was like such a dick move. Like, nothing was wrong, they were great, food was great, why would you do something like that? And it's that experience of dealing with people. Sometimes the general public are just awful.
My nephew worked in a pub with some very difficult customers. Even some of the locals, like the regulars, and he was telling me a while ago, it was just eye opening. Yeah, how do you deal at like 18? How do you deal with these people like shouting at you and dealing with it, or even asking for discounts and stuff like that as well? So yeah, oops.
But anyway, after uni,
Yes.
So I graduated 2008. Great time to be looking for a job.
Yes.
Which is hence why I kind of stayed on and carried on doing the bars at uni. But I then got on the co-op grad scheme. So that's what took me to Manchester.
Yeah.
And the grad scheme was great because it was one of those rotational things. So every 4 months you change into a different role. Oh, cool. So I started off in membership marketing. So obviously the co-op membership, like across all the businesses. Moved into funeral care marketing next.
Okay, interesting.
Very different. I mean, obviously 2-for-1s don't really work. After that, I went into food future technology. So I did the kind of the rollout, or at least the case study for contacts technology. So this was just as it was starting to be kind of adopted. Then moved into home delivery, ran home delivery for a bit, then went into another one restructuring the head offices.
There's some massive, like the whole co-op is just huge. It's just not. It's huge, like,
and it's smaller than what it was. There
Yeah.
used to be so much more. Like they did clothing, footwear, motor stuff, electricals. I can't remember if they still do all of those now, but tons of stuff. I think the pharmacy's no longer, but that was a big one that they used to do.
Wow. Yeah, it was huge. I mean, it's still pretty big, but I mean, back then it was probably massive.
Yeah.
So you got to immerse yourself into all different parts of the business.
Yeah, it was great fun. Learned so much doing all of those different things, different businesses, different functions. And then after that, I moved into a very different, like a debt purchaser, going from co-op, ethical, really good standards. We recover debt from people. But I was then going, you know what, I don't want to work in an office for 30 years of my life and be sat behind a desk. And I always enjoyed acting when I was younger, and I did a lot of it and did it in uni. I went, you know what, fuck it. Spent a year kind of building up to it. Can I do it? Do I want to do it? Can I financially support myself? And then, I quit the job, started being an actor, did it for a couple of years. Very difficult when I need to go to acting school, so did that.
Yeah.
Then was jobbing actor for a good few years after that. The question I always hate is like, what will I've seen you in? I'm like, do you remember the Hiscox Small Business Insurance radio advert of 2023? No.
I'll find it on YouTube, don't worry.
Oh, exactly, yeah, it's there. But then obviously lockdown hit and acting work just fell off a cliff. There was nothing for the obvious reasons. And my kind of side job that was keeping me going through acting was still kind of the data analysis, a lot of stuff, Excel, working with businesses to help kind of improve the processes and things like that. And that's when kind of fortune smiled, and a strange tweet that went out going, I need an Excel expert, found its way to me.
Yeah.
That's how I met Vic from Datahawks. And then that was obviously a partnership of 4.5, 5 years of working together. And I just kind of went more and more into obviously the back into corporate, away from acting. And
more data.
More data, yeah. And then found my way into Guestwise after Datahawks.
Yeah. And then, so during that period, I mean, obviously you've seen what's changed. I mean, that's 5 years, right? Of different businesses change, and then flowing into where you are now. I mean, it's super interesting when it comes to what you've seen, right? You've seen lots of people using different variations of data. And obviously now we'll talk about where you are now in a bit. But I've got one of my questions here. And one of the questions that my research came out with was, you've talked about the 5% of guests who give feedback returning within 60 days. What does that say about how hospitality is using guest feedback today? And what would better look like? There you go, sorry.
I mean, it's an interesting one because to start with, 5% of people giving feedback are returning. Well, how many people are giving feedback in the first place is obviously quite a small percentage. So it's a small percent of a small percent of a small percent that are returning who give feedback. I think even over the 5-6 years it is that I've been in hospitality full on, there's changes, and then there's things that haven't really changed that much. And feedback collect, I mean, we've got some great feedback platforms out there. They do a great job of like collecting everything, but there's still that kind of disconnect of ops, marketing, what we do with it, how the data gets fed back in to like your marketing activities, your ops activity. And like in terms of the better, it's like one of the things that we're looking at the moment in Guestwise is how we can use that feedback information to marry it to the CRM data, to marry it to the proof of presence data, to then go, right, you've come in, you've had a bad experience. If we see you on the web, let's not show them a pop-up that's going to tell you about the deals that are going on. You're probably not going to want to hear about that. Let's not send you the emails that say, oh, hey, we've got this thing going on. You've got to change the way that you then speak to the people depending on how they've given the feedback and treat them differently. And it's got to be that ops thing as well. Like it's easy marketing saying one thing, but ops have got to be able to act on it. And I think for customers, they just want to be heard at the end of the day. Like if they've had a bad experience, they want to know that that's actually going to make a difference, that someone's heard it and someone's going to respond to them as well. So it's a tricky one because it always comes down to, I mean, what we're saying at the start is having the time to do everything.
Yeah. I about 3 months ago went to Pizza Express in Westfield. My kid goes to dance, like I live miles away from Westfield. We drove there, dropped her off at the just not far, and then she was there for like 4 hours. We were like, okay, let's go have lunch, whatever. So we went to, and then we were walking around Westfield. It opened officially, like the food courts opened and stuff. And my wife with allergies, Pizza Express Wagamama's is perfect for her. So we went into Pizza Express, and the waitress was awesome. Like she was awesome, and she'd laminated her own cards, her own little QR code with the feedback and with her name on the back.
Oh, nice.
And she gave, and I think head office might obviously they get benefits, I guess, if there's more. No one else no one else was doing it. She was so nice, and I was like, I mean, if head office could hear what they were doing, give them all freaking custom laminated freaking bloody cards, whatever. Yeah. But it was a great conversation. She's at uni. We were having a bit of banter. She gave the card, and it was just a normal Google card. And obviously, we left a great review because she was awesome, and the meal was great and it was quick, like, it was consistent. And then talking about what you were saying, that place I went to just this weekend gone, the waitress who was awesome. My friend loves a chat. Like, she loves a good old chat. She was having a good old chat with the waitress, and at the end the bill came and the QR, which was 125. She did freak out a little bit at the 30 million questions that were on it, and we were like, we should pay now. She said, I'm not finished. I'm gonna go through, and then the waitress came over. No, you can skip. You can skip stuff. Don't worry about it. You can skip it. You don't have to do it all. And she was, and that was it. But that was interesting because you don't often see that many brands doing it, right? Having but the Pizza Express thing was really nice.
I mean, that also goes back to saying about everyone needs to have that experience of being on the floor. It was someone at Vic O'Neill, Vapiano. You know, she will regularly, I can't remember, it's like once a month, once every 2 months, she will spend a day in a location working the floor like everyone else does. And that gives you an absolute real kind of insight into how things are operating. Because whenever you're in just head office, and it was the same thing at the Co-op as well, like, you don't know what it's like in the store. One of the biggest bugbears was every month there was a new initiative that came down from up on high, the Ivory Tower. You must now do this. And I once said, like, right, but there's like 10 different initiatives that are all going on at the same time. When are they having time to stock the shelves to actually do the work that they need to be doing instead of doing all these like silly things that are just...
Oh, do me a favour. Bring that out a little bit.
Oh,
there we go. Perfect.
Fallen.
That's right. No, perfect. Yeah, sorry. Continue. Yeah, no, I agree. I think I spoke to someone else the other day. Who she said to me, one of our clients, I've got word of like nervous. Like they're great at taking orders and so on, but they just don't have that, like, you know, that banter. So I mean, I was at a restaurant a while ago, the Botry Hotel inside Lavo, it's called. Awesome restaurant. And the waiter was amazing. He was amazing, you know, very nice, awesome, sir. It was amazing. And the GM, I'm assuming the GM, walked up and said, "I just wanted to let you know my waiter's a little bit shy, but if you think he gave you a great experience, he'd love a tip.
Yeah,
you don't have to, no stress. But he went and asked for it, and I know he went and asked for it because he's quite shy. We were like, and then you know, if he did a great experience for you, then, you know, feel free. But you know, no stress." And I think that's more and more now. That there's waiters who are great and good with the banter and good with the communication, and then there's others who are a little bit shyer.
And some of that's just extrovert versus introvert.
Yeah,
It's
true.
Not saying they're doing a bad job, but like, I'm a huge introvert, and I'm the same. I love chat with the waiter and a bit of banter. Yeah.
I was talking to my sister-in-law, who's an ambivert. I sent her a little reel because she is literally the life and soul. And then when she gets home, she just closes the door and said, "Just leave me alone. Fuck off, leave me alone. No one talk to me. My social batteries are drained." But then as soon as she closes the door and is in the car chatting to people, and then that night, all out. So yeah, I agree. I think it's interesting. I think listen, there is technology out there that helps, right? So, you know, stuff like Yumpingo and other bits and bobs that can help. But I think the feedback platforms are getting better. And then with technology, it's going to make it easier. I think as you start to know more about the person, you can tailor it, I guess. And that's the winning piece. I think if technology can help you understand more of those data points of that customer, then if you know that they've answered X, Y, and Z of previous feedbacks, why would you give them the same form? So I think there's still stuff that needs to be done, right, to help bring back, you know, or if you are sending an email to someone, don't send that standard email. If you know what they've responded, then you don't need to ask those same questions again. Or if they're negative, maybe ask the negative questions again.
Yes.
You know, there's some really, my brain's firing on all possibilities of what you could send. But I think you tend to find that our feedback when we send it, ours is just basic, right? 1 to 5, blah, blah, blah. The Brits are either going to be scathing review, 1 star scathing review,
or 5 star best thing ever.
5 star best thing ever, or 1 star no review, nothing, and 5 star no comment, no nothing.
Yeah.
And so we've got these little buttons you can press that help. But it's really interesting looking at that data and seeing what people send in. But I think technology can definitely, the platforms out there, I think it would be awesome to be able to use those flags to understand what's been in the past. You know the repeat visit. So why would you send, customize that journey out?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's definitely a thing.
Well, the interesting thing there about feedback is you're right. A lot of the time, the people who leave feedback, it's one extreme or the other. You miss that kind of middle ground. We didn't leave feedback that we waited 45 minutes for the food. We're still going to go back there, but that's still feedback that will be useful. So one thing that we're looking at is how we can utilize AI at the moment to look at everywhere else that people leave feedback. Socials. That is a big place where people are going to be giving their honest opinions, honest feedback, because they don't want to be filling a form out, but they still want to tell their friends, and they're going to do it on social. So we're looking at how to utilize the AI to be able to go through all socials, all that kind of, what is the general sentiment of the brand of a location.
Like them, friend them, I'll have a conversation with them, get the AI to be their best mate.
And then feed that into all the other information that's going on as well that you miss with people that don't fill out 125 or anything else.
I think the challenge is trying to get them as much data off from those people as possible without it being too intrusive, right? So I think, even visiting, we had Served on a couple of weeks ago, their podcast came out, like we were talking to them, they said that I think it was 30,000 people in the first week in Dishoom were using the QR, and it was mental. It's gone crazy. And I said, wouldn't it be amazing if you had allergens and you had a booking, and the booking system was smart enough to add the allergens link in there for you?
Yeah.
Or you could even flag it to a specific allergens because you knew. And they said some of the clients are already just sending it out with every booking confirmation. That sort of personalisation piece.
Well, I might be jumping the gun on one of the next questions. But something else. Sorry, I'm just plugging Guestwise left, right, and centre here. But that's another thing that we're doing a case study of at the moment is when someone's making a booking. GMs on a day, they'll do like their usual kind of briefing to everyone on the floor. But what would be really good, and I think Seven Rooms does this to some degree, but here are your key people that are coming in today, like the ones that you need to surprise and delight. You've got this person whose birthday, this person's an anniversary, this person's been 10 times before because they're in the booking system, so let's give them something extra. This person came last time and gave a 1-star review, so let's make sure they have a great thing. Just having an email digest, no more than a page.
The briefing.
Every day, these are the guests you need to make sure absolutely smashing out the park with, and that will then obviously just steamroll.
I spoke to someone the other day who was talking about the same sort of thing, there's the chip printer, right? So some restaurants on the higher end will have a Bluetooth printer. They'll check them in Seven Rooms or Open Table. They'll print out with a little, and that will then be given potentially to the waiter so they can see those notes. If those notes could be enriched to have more information, because it's the basics. It might just be reservation, allergens. I don't even know if it has visits. But then there's the whole conversation of, do you replace the reservation system and have your daily view of who's coming in?
Yeah.
Pulling in all the data from the CRM from everywhere.
Yeah, well, if you go on the website and go, well, they viewed the allergens menu, they viewed the kids menu, so they've probably got kids, so
the tracking as
having all that knowledge beforehand is great.
Yeah, I think that the report is interesting. I guess even taking the report that the res comes and then making it better as well. So maybe I guess you'd have an additional bolt on the top of notes as well as the debriefing of what's come in. Yeah, I think that's really interesting. All right, next question. We're going to go Guestwise, obviously. This one's interesting. It says, you help operators transform data into human-level personalisation. So what's the biggest mindset shift when you see a venue start using the data in the right way? So I've had Carey on before, right? Carey is talked quicker than me. Us together, we were like a machine. So it went good. And
podcast done in half.
Yeah, I literally, whenever I see Carey, and when we saw him at the TMM, I was like, "Can you do blah 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 blah?" He goes, "Come, we already started doing it." So I think our brains are aligned. But yeah, it's interesting to see what more, because he came on ages ago. So the product's changed massively.
Oh, yeah,
it was
huge.
It was those 3 pillars of what you do. So it'd be interesting to see because obviously you've now seen what people are using and then how they've managed to make changes within the business.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to hear what that looks like.
So I think on one of the grander scale with personalisation is moving away from that mindset of just a one size fits all, particularly CRMs, batching and blasting. It only works to a small degree, obviously. So one of the things that we've currently started working on with a client, which is really excited, we're calling it like generative AI content. So based on where people are landing on the website, what they're viewing and what they're doing, you then ping them off an email based on that behavior that they've done. The client makes the email, it's in whatever CRM, so we're not replacing a CRM in any way, we're not kind of doing that, but it will automatically funnel them into which kind of bucket they sit in. So based on their activity.
You'll stick them into a segment, and then that segment will trigger a message.
Yeah, so they've come on and they've viewed the Christmas menu, but they've then not made a booking, so they're interested in it.
How does it work though? Because some of the CRMs, it's really triggering. It's really difficult to tell a CRM send an email.
Yes.
I mean, it's so like half of them don't do it. So like you want to go, I've got this loads of information, and they've hit this, and then I just want to trigger it. And then obviously you don't want to send the message yourself because you end up sending millions of emails. So I think I've spoken to loads of people in the past, and they were like, I just want to, if someone does this, do X. Like a bit like Make.com or Zapier, keeping it simple. How does that work? Does it go into like as soon as it hits that segment of that pocket of data?
Yeah, so as we're tracking them on the site, obviously we know what their behavior is and which bucket we're going to put them in. So we will then send that off to, I'll use Airship as the example, because very common one. We will send that person off to Airship and we'll drop them into a group. And Airship can have a function that says when someone is entered into a group, drop them an email.
Okay.
That email then has basically UDF fields and user-defined fields. So we will then tell it what to populate in those fields.
Okay.
So we're not just going, right, we're going to do...
you're populating the message as well?
Exactly.
Okay.
And the message is also one that we're using. One of the biggest things with personalisation, I mean, it's been talked about for years, and it's like, great, we need to send personalised messages to everyone. We want to get to that one-to-one. You get a different message and I get it than someone else gets. But the average marketer doesn't have the time to do that. There's so under the cosh from everything going on. So what we're doing is like, right, we're going to feed in your brand message, your tone of voice, the knowledge base of your business, all the information. We're going to feed in all the, God knows how many emails that you've sent into the AI system that we've got. So it knows exactly how you speak and what you do. That will then give however many variations we want of an email that will get signed off by the brand, obviously. So they're okaying it. And then we use that to have like, right, we've got 10 different variants. They're sending all these emails out. We'll then measure how they go, which ones work best. So what's the better?
So you got
tone of voice, the better thing. A, B, C, D, E, F, how many you want.
Yeah.
So it works fantastically.
So the template's the standard template, but the basic information is populated into that field.
Exactly.
So whatever text or so on that gets in. Oh, that's interesting.
The template is just like...
I think the challenge you have, but listen, this is the challenge. This isn't for 1 to 5s though, right? This isn't for the small to medium, like the small businesses. This is more, you're still looking higher up onto at 20 plus, right? Yeah. So I think that there's a wish, maybe Guestwise Lite will come out soon. But I mean, it's not impossible to do for the smaller brands. This is where we have the challenge. I speak to people all the time. I tell people, are you sending different emails to different people? And as you said, there's no resource, right? So I think there's that challenge of, great, there's enterprise, and we can do some great work with enterprise. But I'd love to see it in a light version, or just get it, because if those brands use Airship and they're not enterprise, they could potentially have that plugin. So I think maybe I need to speak to Carey about it and get like the light version. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't need all the bells and whistles. You just need to be able to have that just that email piece that is happening of the tracking. I think it'll be really interesting. So that is really interesting. I think just that alone, if you can automate it, it's going to save someone from sending 20 different emails a month on that mail out.
And then you can, obviously further down the line, we bolt on extra things of seasonality changes, deal changes, all that kind of stuff that you can bolt in as well.
I mean, we're pulling in like nationality data, so you could change languages. You could do loads of different stuff. Like, can you imagine? If you know they're Italian, you could have that in the local. That'd be And there's loads. And my brain's going possibilities. But I think there's some really clever tools that you can do. This is a really good one actually. So I like this because it's a good question. It's basically fixing broken hospitality tech. So you said that the approach to hospitality tech is broken. What does it mean to you, and how can the industry rebuild to truly support staff and guests alike?
So it goes back to what I was saying in the 5 or 6 years that I've been working in hospitality. There's been some changes, but there's still some of the fundamental challenges that we always have. I mean, what is it? We're 20 years behind retail is the usual thing that gets said. It doesn't feel like it's massively changed that much. But was it Joel from Opener that was saying that they're trying to get like a standard across the industry? And I think that would be a fantastic approach if, because it's one of the biggest challenges that we always face is like, right, we get a new client and we need to integrate with the systems. Like, okay, I mean, we can do that much, but then we need an API, and that API is going to cost X amount more. And obviously you don't want to then pay additional on top. So it then stops us from doing that true kind of one customer view, which is so difficult to achieve these days.
Do you think that Guestwise might end up being that CDP? Because in America, it's really interesting. When I speak to our partners in America, the CRM is the CDP. It's like, it is the customer data platform, but Airship isn't a CDP. Airship's a CRM, which is on speed, unlike others. So do you think that potentially it's going to be where that single data resource of all that single profile will be in Guestwise, and then things will feed in different places? Because we're speaking to another client at the moment who are using another tool where their single customer view is in that tool. And then they've got another CRM plugged into it and then other tools that will feed into it. So Res feed into it, CRM feeds into it, bookings, POS, everything feeds into it. So you try and have that single customer view for ops and for marketing, and then it obviously feeds into that. Do you think that's going to...
It is something we've talked about. Obviously, it's a big shift and a big change. And hey, Kerry and Aidan, let's do it. I think it would be great if we did it, because I think when you go...
You're getting so many data points at the moment.
Exactly.
Right?
And when you look at the more enterprise solutions out there for the big clients, Braze, Bloomreach, they offer that CDP functionality. It's there, but that is so much more costly, prohibitive, and especially for the smaller businesses that might only have 5 sites. It would be great if we could do that, and I think it would be a thing that we definitely can do. So yeah, I'd like to see that happen.
It all depends, I guess, on what it is. What do you? So the broken tech is basically Olivia Reed's, I think, the first ever Tech on Toast thing a couple of years back now. She said, "I wish POS companies would grow up," and she meant that open basically just open up. I think we're nearly there. I mean, there's a few left that are still behind that gate, right? Where the 50 site customer will be like, "Can you plug into X?" And you're like, "Yes, but this is their cost."
It's like it's your data. Like
you own it.
Exactly. You're employing this company to do this thing for you, and they're like, "No, you can't have that."
Stuck. There's a couple left, I think. So I think things are changing. It's nice to see. Listen, like we like if you look at the Square, for example, completely open ecosystem. You can pull and take whatever you like. Other platforms are out there. You just need your X amount of customers, and then boom, it's open.
That's all it's going to take. There's 1 or 2 new companies to start doing that, and then everyone will flock to it.
The good news is that there are. I mean, it's nice. I mean, obviously, it depends on the brand. I think we're seeing a change for some of the older like Windows-based till systems where they are making that change. Where they are realizing that the customers are asking X and they're doing it. And I think that's really nice to see. I think there is a few still out there that are stuck behind that wall. And I remember speaking to someone about 4 years ago who said to me, "Adam, do you know how expensive an API is?" And I was like, "No, I don't actually." He goes, "We've got to maintain it, we've got to monitor it. We can't just give it to everyone." They're all growing. This is 4 years ago. And prior to them in that person in the business, they just give it to everyone. It wasn't really an API. It was just you could have access to the data. And I was like, they were saying, but Square can afford it because they've got this, that, and that. So it was really interesting back then. But I think it is changing, and it's nice to see. And we're seeing our partners be able to plug into more. And you've got people like Tenzo who've opened themselves up to allow you to plug into them because they've already got the plugin. So if all you need is data, it's the connector pieces all there. So I think that's nice to see that's out there. So interesting. Okay, so we've talked about AI as well, but there's lots of buzzwords about AI and big data. What's the next practical step for operators who want to connect the smarter data to real world experience?
First off, I hate the word AI, but I know it's ubiquitous now
Yeah.
because it's an LLM. It's not AI, but it's what everyone uses. So, so the big thing for us, definitely, we've got 3 case studies running with clients at the moment, where it came about of one of our clients. They were like, "Can you help us with this? It's coming up to Christmas. We get 100 emails per day per site coming into the email inbox. It's like, can I do this? I want to make a booking. What time are you open?" And then like we have to employ like a full-time person for each site to go through all of these emails.
Yeah.
And we're like, of course we can. So we're just like putting it out there now. So it's gone live with one client I think this week, and we'll be live with another in a week or 2.
Yeah.
So going back to the thing I mentioned about using the knowledge base, the tone of voice of the business and everything like that, an email comes in, the AI will automatically go, can it respond to it?
Yeah.
And it'll have a confidence threshold.
Yeah.
It will, if it's a simple thing like what's your opening hours, it'll respond to it. If it's something a little bit harder,
With that tone of voice that you've
exactly.
trained, yeah.
If it's a little bit harder, then it'll go, well, I'm not quite sure about this, and it'll flag it for a human.
Yeah.
But it will go, here is what I think the response should be.
Nice.
And the human can go, that is fine, tick, and it will learn, and it will get confident, or they'll edit it and change it and then send it, and it will learn from that as well. And
Reminds me of like Fixer, because Fixer sort of, have you seen Fixer? It's like there's a few others out there. It basically reads your own emails and then puts drafts in in your inbox like that, and you can just either send that draft or it's that sort of thing.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And the idea being that we don't want to be replacing humans, like absolutely not. We want to be freeing up. Going back to the thing
Well,
that
they're not missing that 16 booking or that Christmas booking or the big one that gets lost.
So this is one of the things that we tested. I will not name the brand, but we emailed brands for, when you do a large booking and it's an inquiry, and one brand took 10 days to get back on an inquiry. That's lost. That booking is gone.
Yeah, we had the same. For our Christmas party, we emailed it. I emailed an inquiry. We're not massive.
Yeah.
And about 2 weeks later, I got a reply saying, "How can I help you?"
Yeah, it's like too late.
Yeah.
You've lost that.
Yeah.
So you have an AI that will respond and do all the main initial stuff. What time? How many people? What do you want? Menu. Sorts out the boring stuff.
Yeah.
Then the human comes in at the right time, secures the booking, makes sure that the customer's got all the information they need and things like that. And I mean, like,
but then hold on, could you, if you already know more about the customer, is there a question of responding to different information? Like,
exactly.
Someone, if you again, that CDP thing really, or those data points, they've visited 5 or 6 times, the
dietary requirements,
Yeah.
that are they kids, are they family, all that stuff.
So
that
the
feeds
reply email can be really catered to that user profile.
Absolutely.
That's really interesting. I think I sort of, Kerry showed me a little bit of it. I was like very excited. It was really interesting, and I said to him that because we had Catherine Allen a couple of weeks back, and she's like master sales. She's amazing, and she was like, I would send when she started working for a brand, she was like, the sales and marketing team would have an automatic reply for everything. So you'd have like first email comes in, that automatic reply comes out, right? So you'd email for anything, and it'd be like in color coded. So like if this is a booking, obviously because you can read it, you can send it. But this was a generic auto reply for everyone. If it's a booking for up to 6, don't worry, you can book online. This is the link. Here are our menus.
Yeah.
For group bookings, blah blah blah. This is the event pack. This is our Christmas Christmas information, just in case you need it. And she said putting that in increased our bookings by, I think she said like 300%. Something stupid. Just because the immediate reply you get was a target. Was it just? And there's no AI needed
it was just
on that.
The basic.
It was just a very basic. And
exactly.
I was at a client the other day, and I told him this, and he pulled over his sales marketing manager, and was like, and he was writing it down. He goes, "We have to do this now." And there's so many restaurants that just and brands that don't do it, and that costs you nothing.
Yeah.
But she color coded it, so it was like this. It was just a really pretty email with different color codes. So she sort of understood that. Right at the top, it was like a pinky color that was your normal whatever. So when you look at it, you're like, oh, hold on, that's what I need. Do you know what I mean? So and then obviously if you're doing that, you're tracking. And you guys could obviously send, if you know what it's for, and you don't have to send that message directly. But I think even the generic automatic reply and acknowledging that you exist, is something that's important.
Yeah.
So we use Zendesk for our help desk, right?
Oh, yeah,
so that can do automations and flows on tags. So I can envision later on that when those tags gets added and someone emails in, or if someone, can I book a booking for 6 people? The internal note could be, this person has allergies, their family, blah, blah, blah.
We've already got the tags.
Yeah.
Yeah. and it'll show customer information as well.
Yeah.
We're going to be expanding that, but like you say, it'll then pull in
So
more
is that the
information.
plan? So the plan is for that. Would they? Because you're plugging into the current inbox, right?
I think there's two ways that we're doing it.
Yeah.
One is that it will be in the Guestwise platform, so you can go in, everyone gets the logins.
Yeah.
The other way is that it would be a plugin to the booking platform.
Yeah.
So Collins, for example. So it
Because they've got an inbox as well in there.
Yeah, and it sits alongside it, and then it will tell you what to reply. You can just like click at a button.
We envisage the using that in the Guestwise platform because then multiple people can use it, and then you can see conversations or write internal notes, for example. Like for us, the biggest thing that we do when a customer's emailing in, and then I can then send it to my team and put an internal note saying blah 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 blah. This is what's going on. This is happening. Can you give them a call and then do it, and then they get that. Which is pretty awesome.
And then in the future, we're going to expand it to other channels. So it's not just email; it's socials, it's WhatsApp, it's any communication.
You end up having that single customer, single inbox. Exactly. I think one of the things that I'd love to see is So you've got the inbox, right? Someone sends an email, it comes in. Yeah, it's one of the things I was thinking about the other day was in WhatsApp, it's a conversation. So it's a consistent conversation. You don't have subject lines. It's a consistent conversation. So you can scroll up and down, have a look at that conversation, have a look at your previous messages. So email isn't like that. Even Gmail's a little bit groupy, right? And so is Microsoft, but it groups the subject line. Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if you could click on that email and maybe the whole trail of all the conversations are in there, but then the subject line changes to what is the current information, but you can just scroll up and look at all the previous trail in one view.
Yep, not just that, other conversations that they had.
Everything. You can
feedback is in there, everything, all in one place.
Yeah. I think that was, I've spoken to I've spoken to loads of people, obviously. But at the show, I was speaking to someone and she was like, I have 7 rooms, and then we don't know who they are, and then they come in, but then if we get an email, we don't have that email's not plugged into 7 rooms, so that profile's not there. That missing piece is definitely an interesting point. Yeah. So, but again, I guess it all depends on how many locations you have. So we need the Guestwise Lite, please, Carey. That would be nice.
Oh, we do work with like smaller orgs as well. Yeah. It's not just the big ones. We've got a few like 5s and stuff like that. Certainly. So we're always open to working with people.
Amazing. Okay, well, we're coming towards the end, so I'm going to give you hold on, there's the volume. Can you hear it? There we go. They can hear it. I was like, why is it not playing? So they can hear it, but there you go. I'll give you. Thank you for coming. That was awesome. I'm actually really excited to see what's coming next because I think the nice piece is that it's making life easier. The amount of people I speak to who say I have no resource. I spoke to another brand the other day, and they were like, I've got I think it was 25 restaurants, and there's one marketing director and a social person. And I said, I know those people who can help, like loads, but then to put the tools in to help is that game changing piece. I think hopefully that resource could be what the platform,
that's where we come in.
You just plug it in, and then it runs itself. You know what I mean? Like back in the day when CRMs first started, when Airship first started, that set and forget piece was just you set the rules, right? And then off it goes.
Exactly.
It does it, so amazing. All right, thank you. Final questions.
Yeah.
Best restaurant?
Hawksmoor or Fazenda.
Oh, Fazenda? Where's that?
Oh, do you not have it? You must have them down here, surely.
No.
Do you remember Ben Brazil? I mean, they're still going.
No.
Oh my word!
I need to broaden my horizons.
Oh my word! So it's one of those all-you-can-eat steak sort of
like a Radizio
places.
sort of thing.
Yeah, and you've got like a red or a green token.
Yeah.
Bring me
They're
more.
They're dangerous.
They just come with this. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Okay, perfect. Best burger.
So it was a lockdown burger, and I don't think the place does it anymore. But I think it was a burger with beef brisket and cheese. Most importantly, a pot of dipping gravy because I'm a Yorkshireman. So just dipping that burger in the gravy.
You need to go visit Nanny Bill's, or I think it's Dip and Flip is the other one.
Yes, please.
Those two, I think, both have the pots where you can just dip the gravy in. Best hotel?
I've got 2. One is the Melia Hotels, only because that's where we stayed for our wedding.
Yeah.
And they were just absolutely fantastic. But on a general level, Premier Inn Hub. If I'm just popping down for business, I don't need anything fancy. It's a small room. It's got exactly everything I need in it. I'm there to sleep. Yeah. And it's great. And it's cheaper.
My wife was going crazy about it the other day. She went on a dance comp and they were at a Premier Inn It just in one of the hubs, and there was LED lights everywhere.
Yeah.
And the bed was like, she was like, this bed's nicer than my bed. And then she saw on the side that they sell the beds.
Yes.
So
we just got a new bed and we're like, do we get a mattress?
I was just so clever. But yeah, no, you're right. They've done a great job to turning it around. Okay, 2 questions for the next guest.
If you could fix any problem in hospitality with a magic wand, what would it be and why? And what is your biggest turn off when you are in hospitality? So obviously we've talked about, wait times and things like that. Yeah. What's the thing that turns you off and stops you coming back again?
That's a good one. Thank you. That's good. I'm going to give another. So give everyone a wave goodbye. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.